With the NRL about to start next month, and with the World Club Challenge coming up this weekend, I'm going to do my season preview in one video. I've done club previews, and of course, players have moved since I did those videos, and people have commented, so this player's moved, that player's moved. When I did those videos back in November, early December, a lot of the player movement hasn't happened. It now has. Players, Bryce Cartwright, Hodgkinson, Dugan, they've moved in the last month. Now, I'm not going to try and predict who's going to finish where, because I think if I give, let's say, the Newcastle Knights finish anywhere between 8th and 16th, that's plausible. They've got the wooden spoon for like 3-4 years in a row. People will expect them to still be struggling. I don't see that. I see them. They've rebuilt the side. They've got loads of new players. Quite a few ex-Roosters players as well who are used to winning, and they're rebuilding the side with a winning mentality. Dane Gagai has gone out to the Rabbits. Now, there are some teams that I think will actually struggle, that people won't expect to struggle, or will actually not finish as high up as they have done in previous years. I still think the wooden spoon is the Titans. I think the Warriors are not far ahead of them. So those are the bottom two. They're a given. But teams that I think will possibly struggle, the Sharks, Cronulla. They've got Hodgkinson, but his knees are shot to buggery. So with Matt Moylan in there and Josh Dugan, you can't have two players playing fullback. Do you play Moylan at other centre? Do you play him on the wing? Chad Evan? I mean, how does it work? I can see them possibly having a struggle. I can see Canberra being on the periphery. I can see St George missing out on finals again. I can see Penrith struggling as well. There are some teams that have been in and around that 10th to 6th band, and there's quite a few who I can see not making it, and some others. Canterbury have got a lot of depth this year, but they've had a lot of changes. A lot of personnel changes. West Tigers, a lot of personnel changes. So it's how about they gel together. Now, one team I'm really looking out for to possibly either do really well or fail is Parramatta. And there's a reason for this. Jared Hayne. Every other team has undoubtedly got stronger. So I do feel that it's going to be a very, very tightly contested season. I do think the bottom two will be the bottom two. I think the Titans and the Warriors will be cut off and will be very down the bottom. I'm not being disingenuous. I just don't think this season they have rebuilt enough or got the pieces in place to play. The team I'm going to think that could struggle is Parramatta. They could win the grand final. Because if you look at past presidents, have a scandal, 2 years later you win. But Jared Hayne, with his off-field legal troubles in America and over here, and the fact that he's not even fit, he's clearly overweight and he's clearly not fit and he's clearly not trying hard enough. Is the Jared Hayne, is the Hayne plane, the Hayne train, whatever you want to call him, is he going to derail the Parramatta Eels who've been playing so well without him? Since Hayne has left, yes, you've got to take into consideration they did have the salary cap breach, but since Hayne has left, their performances on the pitch and the style of rugby league they play has been better. It has been far more balanced. They're not relying on one superstar. They have got a team of great players playing in various positions across the park. I see Hayne as an unnecessary distraction that could actually cause the Parramatta Eels to actually have... Because look what happened to Gold Coast Titans. They got the finals footy and they signed him towards the end of that season. They got the finals football year before last. It wasn't because Hayne was in the side they did well in that season. It was because they had done well as a team. He comes in, he derails them. Could he have the same effect at Parramatta? This is not the club he left to go to the NFL. This is a completely different team with a different structure, a different style of play. I can see him screwing it up for him. Melbourne Storm will not win it again. They will not win the grand final again. They just... I think without Cooper Cronk, they're that little bit weaker, and it all depends on Smith, and especially with this latest fit, because Cameron Munster's had a few off-field indiscretions that are a talking point, and it all depends if Smith and Slater can stay fit. Because yes, they've got some great young players coming through, but they haven't had enough first grade experience to put their hand up and say, look, put me under pressure in a grand final, put me under pressure in knockout footy. I just don't quite see it this year. They'll still be in finals football, they just will not make the grand final. I actually think it could be Roosters. Roosters will be in the grand final, and I actually think North Queensland will get back to the final. I think it will be a Roosters North Queensland final. Um, both have won the comp before. Both have got to the grand final before. The Roosters, as a regular season team, have been, apart from that one blip a couple of years ago, they have been solidly consistent top four side. They've strengthened with Cooper Cronk. He's going to give them that what Mitchell Pearce couldn't, which is I've won more regularly than this guy. I've won State of Origins. This guy's failed at State of Origin. I've won far more international caps than this guy. He brings that wow factor and that experience and that calmness that Mitchell Pearce doesn't. And North Queensland, even without Thurston, they got through to a grand final. Yeah, they were the second best team because they had other injuries and they'd reached and they peaked. That was that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say it's going to be a very, very hotly contested season, regular season. The bottom two, as I've said, the Titans, the Warriors, they're definitely my bottom two by a long way. Every other team that has a chance of getting to finals football is going to be very congested. Injuries will play a part, suspensions will play a part, and the new signings that all these sides have made, especially teams like West Tigers, like the Newcastle Knights, teams that people have not taken seriously for a long time. No one took the Newcastle Knights seriously the last couple of years. They're picking up more and more wins. Games that, when they were at their worst, they were losing. Now they're on the bounce back. They've got the Matautia brothers, the Saifiti brothers. They've got they've got Bura in there, and he's quite good. Danny Levi, needs to develop his game a bit more, but they've got Mitchell Pearson, he's an exciting player. They've got Guerra. They've actually recruited really well. So don't underestimate teams like the Knights and West Tigers. They got rid of all the negative. They hacked out Aaron Woods. They got rid of Tedesco. They got rid of Mitch Moses. They were clearly dragging the club down with their money demands and causing a negative thing around the club. The fact that they play most of their careers there is irrelevant. I think they had to move on because it was harming the club going forward. The West Tigers still have those off-field issues though that will not go away. They're the team most likely to get moved out of Sydney to Perth. They need to start actually delivering on the pitch to stop and to kill those rumours, deliver on the pitch, become more successful, get more fans through the gate, get more ticket receipts, get more success, get through to finals football, and then those rumours will go away. Unless they do that, they won't. Canterbury have got the depth, but have they got the depth in the right places? And have they banished Des Hasler's chronic let's kick the dropout short method? Have they banished some of the demons from last year where they came up short? Canberra, can they get a bit more consistent? They were just a few points out. Literally, we're talking golden point is what was a pain in the arse for me as a Canberra Raiders fan last season, was that golden point game against the North Queensland Cowboys, where the drop goal hits the bar and it all goes. Golden point was not Canberra's friend last year. If they can hold on in those golden point games and get those draws, they actually make it in finals football last year. They are a better side than what their results last year suggested. But Penrith, I think, are weaker. They do play some exciting rugby at times, but they've lost Brass Cartwright, Mitch Moylan, Matt Moylan. They've gone. They brought in James Graham, but they've lost some key leaders there. It all now comes down to how the new players gel into their new sides, how the season starts. But I'm going for a Cowboys Roosters grand final. And of course, as the season progresses, I will probably be proven wrong, but that's my grand final prediction. I can see Newcastle finishing about 10th. And I can see Parramatta having one of two things happen. One, they either win the bloody thing, and I haven't predicted that, or two, they actually have a disastrous season because of Jared Hayne. Jared Hayne is not fully fit. He's not playing fullback, he's playing centre, so that makes sense to me. But I don't think he's the best centre in the NRL. And with his off-field legal issues, will that overshadow what the club are trying to do, considering all the past scandal they've had with the salary cap and poor management? Anyway, I know I've gone on to about nearly 10 minutes. Thank you very, very much for watching. I haven't done an NRL preview video for a while. And with all the player movement, it would be disingenuous of me not to do this, considering that when I did the NRL club videos for the pre-season preview, a lot has happened. Because of all these extra movements, like Hodgkinson going to Cronulla and Josh Dugan going there and Moylan, I can see the Sharks having one or two things: a good season or a bad season. It's how those players gel into that setup. And with players like Paul Gallen on the end of their careers, players like Cameron Smith at the end of their careers, and Billy Slater, teams that have been very successful for a long time will eventually have a downswing. I can see it. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.